You bunch of degenerates. It's time for some more shenanigans. So, we were in a spot where we had cookies, and right now, essentially, what we want to do is be able to log in and delete the old cookie that was the old session that was saved on the server database, on the server's database. And we also want to be able to change the website. So whenever you get on a website, you only want to see either the your email that you are logged in with, or a logout, or a sign in thing. So we need like a dynamic page, and I want to make it like server-sided rendered, I guess is the term for that, where I want to give the client the page that's already in the right format with the right information. So we need a way to dynamically display, like send the HTML. Right, let's first start with the sessions. Create a way for me to be able to constantly sign in, because if we go now to the website, so here, I'm on the actual website. If I go ahead and, what did we do? Login. And I select my account, you'll see fail to create session. And the reason is because there's already a session with my email on the database. So we need to fix that, and that will also work the same way locally. If I start the server locally and I go to localhost 8080 and go to login, I'll have the exact same experience. Unique constrained session, so there's already a user ID. My user ID already has a session. Easy peasy, we just need to delete the old one, right? So, where is this happening? Here in the database. I suppose this is where it is happening. Yeah. So essentially what we want to do is maybe we can make it a part of this command, which is a great opportunity for this fella. So let's see. Might be a good idea to feed it here, the table layout. So I have a table with this layout, and I'm running this command. Is there a way to delete the previous session on the same command? And here I just want to go ahead and send it the session table so it knows what it's dealing with. You should first insert a new session, and then if indeed issue a separate delete command to remove the previous session based on some criteria like the user ID. Can you give me a command to delete a session linked to that specific user ID? Will this error out if no session exists? Cool. So let's go ahead and say public boolean delete any existing sessions, and we care about the user ID. Do we? I think we have a. Yeah, let's just do user ID, and essentially then we're gonna say at some point command text equals, and then let's put this directly. Of course, we don't need that, and we're gonna replace this with this. Let's just say this is user ID. Go ahead and create a command. Exactly. Yep. And yeah, I'm gonna try and execute it. Yeah, there you go. Try that. Catch. How do I handle errors again? There you go. Handle exception. Ooh. Error deleting previous session. So I'm gonna make this async task. If nothing failed, return true. So this should give me number of deleted rows, I suppose, because we're deleting. Is this the number of operations? What does it return? I'm not sure. Let's just say, whoops. That should be a nice little twist. Then we're gonna go here and say if, well, I guess would be more like while database that delete any existing. Ooh. No, we just want to do it once actually. So if await, then session. So user ID here would be just ID. That do we really care about? Well, I guess we could say try. Now this is only going to return true or false. Okay, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. So if I don't really care really if it deleted it or not. So we're just going to run this query to delete any of the previous ones, and then I'm going to create a new one. Right? That should work, right? So if we go back here to our website and we log in, oh, look at that, deleted one previous session. And now I'm logged in. So now that we know that this is indeed a number of deleted things, we can say if it isn't, if it didn't delete anything, just go ahead and return false, right? So the idea is return true if we deleted something, false if we didn't delete anything or any error occurred. Cool, so this fixes our issue. Now all we have to worry about, how to change the page that we're rendering here and properly edit. Oh, we're actually missing one more thing, which is the sign out. I guess we sort of already did the sign out by doing this delete any of the existing sessions. Yeah, that's already something that we could, like, we could only call delete any existing sessions for the user ID and it's going to log them out. I'm wondering though, is there a way that we can, with the header, the same way we're setting a cookie, delete a cookie? Interesting. Let's see. HTML, header, delete, cookie. Okay, so essentially, it doesn't matter now that I think of it. We don't need to reset the cookie's value or whatever. Once you're logged out, the cookie is going to be invalid. And once you make a request to our server, it will see that it's not a valid user and will consider you as logged out, which sort of just works out. So that is done. We don't need to worry about that. Nice and fantastic. Let's worry about rendering the page. So there's two states that we have here. So we have the signed in with the email and then a sign out button. And we also have a sign in with Google if you're not signed in. This is a little confusing. But yeah, let's see what we have at our disposal. So how do we handle requests? Yeah, this is what is handling our requests, if I'm not mistaken. Because if I go over to our Pixel servers, the session, let me open this tab. At some point, yeah, there you go, we do this. But I'm pretty sure this is probably only, we probably only receive this for requests that are not being automatically handled by the static files. So maybe we need to remove the static pages. We can probably check that by doing something like console.writeLine URL path, right? So if we start the local server now and we reload here, yeah, you see nothing is happening there. Yet if I say something random that is not in the static path, it is handled by this code. Which, again, means that we cannot use the caching here for that purpose. Which is a bit of a shame. Could we still maybe use caching, yet not go, not handle these paths for the server, I wonder? And I feel like the file cache is extremely, if you look, it has an insert handler. Sorry, it has an insert handler which generates. Oh, actually, no, this is the handler. I'm so confused by the way this thing works. Like, I'm extremely confused. Like, because you're setting the path in the cache. I guess this will check if it is in the cache. Okay, so we need to use our own cache if we want to do. That's too complicated. What we're gonna do is something extremely simple. We're gonna go ahead and move this index page out into our resources, and we're gonna edit the code. So let's do this. So let's do a sign in component dot component, and we'll do a sign out component. Maybe let's do a profile component instead. And my idea, these are just extensions I made up, right? These are not real extensions. My idea is just take this code right here for the sign in. So this is a sign in component. We can tell it that it is HTML. I don't know if it's gonna remember for this specific thingamabob. But anyways, and then for the profile, the same thing, you know? Huh, that's weird. Boom. Let's get it, give it some formatting. Yeah, look at that. And then essentially I can just come in here and say something like top right. Nah, sure. And then through code, we can go ahead and look for the string and replace it with one of these components that we need. And then we can do something similar in here. Like this one, we won't need to change anything other than somehow redirect it to a link. We'll figure that out later. Yeah, and here, for example, we would do something like profile.email. No. And potentially also an avatar. We'll see. So we have the profile component, the sign-in component, and the index. Maybe we should move this into index.html. I cannot do that. Okay. Let's just call this index. Maybe index page. Sure. Then we have the content. Might as well actually call all of these content. So inside every page that we might create in the future, which I think this is the only one, but it's always good to have like a good workflow. Yeah. We are all gonna have a content.html with different tags like this, and each component will also have different tags. And what else? Cool. Now, this does mean we can no longer have it here. So we're gonna have to say goodbye to this. And that means that we're no longer gonna find it. We're just gonna get rid of that, right? Just like that. So now if we start our server, it should be sort of broken. If we go here, see, it's trying to go to the root, but we're not giving it a response. Cool. I should probably make this a switch case, but a switch case inside a switch case. Maybe we should say private void handle get requests. Well, I could probably actually export this into a method and avoid having to, pass all of those manually. So handle get request. Sure. Could probably put all this into a struct of some sorts, but whatever. And then here we could make it into a switch. Look at that. Oh, it's even putting a default response. That's kind of interesting, actually. If we if we test it now, we should see a hello world for any page that is not being handled by the thing. Cool. We could test our errors messages that we're gonna add through this too. Random stuff. I'm saying random shit. Anywho, and what was I doing? Yeah, so we need to handle the home page now. So let's do something a little different. There you go, 404. And for the home page, yeah, we need a way to like get the resource here now. Let's go ahead and see. So we have this data path. Well, it's not data path, it's the resources path. Do we send the resources path? Don't send it anywhere. We need the resources path, but we might actually, instead of that, we might make our own little caching thing potentially. Or we can use their file cache. It might not be such a bad idea to have a file cache. I don't want to make it public, but I do want to make it static. File cache. Do I need to specify anything? Okay, I guess I don't. I can just do this. Now, I wonder how it works. This is where I'm adding with pounds. Might as well do it down here as well. So add key value as static content. How does this work? Insert path. Okay. Insert path. Okay. Insert this path. But I'm giving it no handler. What does the handler do? Insert handler. Just adds it there. And then I guess I can just say this, that find bar data. Yeah, I don't know. This seems a little too complicated. I'm gonna create my own little class for this specific need. We're probably gonna call it something like resources cache. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a path. So whenever we initialize it, not void, I'm gonna give it a root path. This is gonna have. Why would you do that instead of this? I don't know, but I do prefer this. A root path, and I'm gonna add some code to it later. Let's just say resources cache. We can create it after we have the resources path. And finally, we can send it down to the server. So I'm gonna send this little fella. The resources cache, so read only. Boom, equals to that. And then do the same thing for the session. There you go, that's what I meant to do. And this equals to the cache. Cool. And then we have access to the cache. This is all the Auth session thing. Cool. So my idea is that we can do something like var page equals to this dot get page index, well, get page index dot page, aka this guy right here. Do we want to do that, or do we just want to do like a raw thing like get text file? Yeah, this might be a little better. Or read text. No, similar to the file IO, except we're gonna cache it. So this is the path. Well, this is the relative path. So we want to do path.combine. So var path equals to that, and then we return that, except that of course we're doing IO operations here, so a quick and dirty way is to just have a dictionary of these mother crackers and be like, if we have something cached for that path, just return the content that we already read. Otherwise, go in and just do a one-liner. Go in and read the actual thing that's on disk. So it's gonna fail because I just removed. Why? What the fuck? Why isn't this failing? Who knows? This is weird. I guess because it's internal, maybe, and it's I'm not quite sure how internal works. Not gonna lie. Anyways, it works. We're gonna leave it like that. We no longer need that file opened. Get the content.html, and yeah, let's just send the page's content. Whoops, not bad. And let's see if we get the page back like usual. So this should give me a 404. If I go here, oh, we got our page back. Now it will stop working for index.html. I don't know. Do we really care? I don't want people to going to /index.html. I want, this is the root, you know. But you could easily do it by just doing this. So both of these cases will fall through. I don't really care about that. I think this way it's a little cleaner. And anyways, if we do look, you see now we have this top right nav. And this is where we can have something like replace, you know, top var nav by what? Var component. Okay, there's a couple of things we want to do here. Look at that. So for one, we want to say if we have a current session for this request. So this is a session ID, I suppose. Right? So try get current session ID, and then we need to validate it. There you go. So var session response. And then we need to validate it. Well, you should probably create a helper function for this. Okay, so if that and validate session, then this means we are logged in. Why isn't... Oh, this gives me a session response there. yeah, let's go ahead and say void, not void, task bool is logged in, out, session info session, right? And then essentially we're going to do this. So if try again session, whoops, we need the request. Here we're just going to return false. Let's say this equals to default. Why is this cannot implicitly convert from? Oh, this needs to be async. My bad. And then we're going to say var session equals to that. I guess we can do this. Well, isn't this the same thing? Session response. Okay, var session response. If session that is valid. Okay, so we don't really need any of that. We just need to know if it's valid. So if it's valid, return true. Well, just return if it's valid. Yeah. So essentially, we just want to do this. If it's logged in, we're going to replace it with something. Otherwise, we can do like a var top right nav content. We don't need to initialize anything. Well, we need to specify that it's a string and replace whatever we have there with that. Okay, so if we are logged in, we're going to go ahead and get the profile component, which is profile that component. Whoopsie daisies. Profile component. Otherwise, we're going to get the sign in component. Let's put it just like that for shorthand. Right. And we're going to say this equals to this, and this equals to this. So just a pure replacement now. Let's see if this works as we intend it to. Boom. Oh, something is off. Oh, I know what is off. We need to reassign ourselves because strings are immutable. It means you cannot change them. I need to reassign after an operation. Anyways, look at that. Logged in as, and then the sign out button. Now the sign out button is probably not going to work. So let's go ahead and implement the sign out button. It's just as simple as coming in here, saying log out. So essentially what we want to do is we want to redirect them for one, but we want to say, yeah, if try get current session ID. Is there a way I need to go deeper into the thing. We need a way to delete the session by session ID. I don't know if we have that. Let's go ahead and open the database and see what we have. Validate session, delete session cleanup, delete any existing sessions for user, delete session ID. So we want to do session ID. Make sure we replace that there as well. And here, if we open our table, the field is called session ID. So from sessions where session ID equals the session that we are targeting, go ahead and delete it. Add with okay. And now back here, we can finally do delete session ID, and we redirect to the URL. Otherwise, we want to give an error, say, I don't know, 500, not logged in, 402. What is the error for not logged in code. 401 or 403. Unauthorized. Unauthorized, forbidden. Let's do it 403. Forbidden. This doesn't actually send the code. I'm just printing the code. It doesn't really matter what you print. Anyways, logged out. Look at that. I got put at the home page, and I only see the button there. So if I go back to log out, it keeps. Shouldn't it? So if that and deleted that, otherwise. Well, I guess do we really care to let them know that something happened if they're trying to log out? I don't really know. But if you log, so you can see if you go to log out now, we're gonna give an error. If I log in, ooh, I don't see this. I should be logged in right now. And if I log out, now I'm logged out. Okay, there is something fishy going on. I was not expecting. This is not what I should be getting. Curious, very, very curious. Okay, what happens if I open my database and see what's inside it? So on the sessions, I have this one. Okay, and if I go to my cookies, well, I guess I need to go to here. Application, cookies, there you go. 56DE0. Yeah. This is not what I was expecting though. Did I put the thing wrong? Is logged in. Let's do console that right line. Whoops. Session valid. Maybe it's giving me an invalid session for some reason? It's not. Maybe just never... I'm a little confused. Sign in that component. So it never found this. Okay, let's do it otherwise. Console that right line. No session cookie found. No session cookie found? Oh, what is happening now? I mean, it's clearly there. Alright, look. It's right here. It worked for a second there, right? I'm not stupid, am I? Maybe a little bit, but could it be because, well, like, what if I don't think it's because it's that doesn't make any sense, but let's just say index.html instead. Now it works? Could it be that it's caching the page? Maybe we need to specify that we don't want the browser to be caching that specific page. I think that might be what is happening here. How did I disable caching? Okay, let's go ahead and go to our response utils. And we're gonna say make HTML without caching. And we're just gonna say content right here. This should, well, we need a, what's the OK response, 201? We can easily figure that out by looking here at our session. It's just 200, 200, there you go. So we should be able to make this. And this should stop caching from happening, right? So if I sign out, boom, if I log in again, I mean, is caching still happening? Look, I even had caching disabled. This is bizarre. Index.html and then come back, it all of a sudden works. Is this because of the redirects? I don't know, I've just been reading a bit from what this dude is saying, and I'm curious to see if this happens as well on the actual live website instead of local hosts, because maybe there's something with the redirect that I'm doing. But I mean, I thought I was setting everything properly. Well, where is it? With cookie. Like the secure, I was sending it false, I think, properly and whatnot is secure. I don't know. Maybe there's something in here that I need to revisit, but I'm curious that this only happens on my development environment. Because it's not something, if it's not broken, why fix it, you know? Well, we'll test and see. For now, let's focus on getting this sign in button to actually do something. But I'm not entirely sure how to do that. My initial idea, honestly, is to just do this. Does this work? What the hell? Not really. Not really. So I think I noticed an issue though with this method that I was showing you, is that it only was clickable on the thing. But I mean, we can probably do something as simple too as, can I add another thing in here? Edit HTML as on a click, right? And then here, JavaScript redirect to your URL. Redirect to a relative URL. Yeah, just that then. And then we can come in here and say this equals to this. Now if I click it, let me maybe copy this. Hey, look at that. Cool. So this seems to be working. What we can do now, simply come to our sign in component and paste that in. I think we can delete the old code. We need to restart our server though, because that is going to be cached. And now we should be able to say sign in. Boom. We do have the issue where we need to, for some reason, switch to a different path and then come back. Not sure if it's a bug, but now we only have this thing left here that we want to handle. So we want to give it the email that the user is logged in as. And for that, it should be relatively simple too, I suppose. Let me copy this string. What is this? Declare as nullable. Anywho. Back here. The profile, we want to go ahead and say this, replace, boom, with something. So we want to replace it with our actual email. But for that, we need a way to get the user's info. I don't know if we have any way of doing that, actually. Create user if it doesn't exist. Is there anything that returns the user info? There isn't. Excuse me. Right, so we need a way. Yeah, so this will give me the user ID. I need a way to get the user info from the user ID, right? So we need something like this, where this is user info string user ID, get user info from user. Get user info from ID. Now, I'm wondering, can autocomplete save my ass here? Select from all of the users what user ID is that, with parameter that. Ooh, wowzy. And then the first read that it gets, it just returns it to me. Of course, I should do something like this, and then here return no. Yeah, let's try this. Where here in the session, we might need to do some more refactoring because I'm getting a little lost in here. In the session, wherever we handle the thing, there you go, right here. So we're gonna say var user info equals to database dot get user from ID. Well, and this is where I need a variant of this crap, where essentially it gives me, well, I might even do one where it gives me the entire user info. So user info, and we say if is valid. Here, this is equal to default. Otherwise, this is equal to default. I'm going to say user info. User info equals to get user. Well, yeah, we need to. So var data if data that has value equals to this. Otherwise, session response that is valid equals to false. Well, we can probably just return this early here. So return false. This can live in here. And here we can do an early, well, I guess we don't really need these lines here then. No, we do need, because this is the else part. Get logged in user. Golly, I forgot we cannot use those here. So here we're gonna return data. Here we're gonna return default. Well, we're gonna return null. Anything else? Essentially, we're gonna go ahead and return null. Can even maybe do that. So var logged var user equals to get the user with the request, and we are gonna await for that. Here we can say if this that has value means we are logged in, and then here we're gonna say user info that value that email. What else do we have in here? Just email. Yeah, I don't have it like a username or whatever. So yeah, replace that with the email. Do we have any more console write lines in here that we might not want to log? Yeah. All right. So, ooh, the string null was not recognized as a valid date time. I suppose this might be because in the user here, yeah, see banned time. Whoops. Oh no, actually, well, what else could be null? Is banned? It's. Let me check our tables again. This is not null. This is not null. Not null. Ban time can be null, but the others aren't null. Like they have a date. See Daisy. Let's see, and then let's go ahead and drag all these here. User that. Why is that a thing? Hey, this might allow me to get a proper exception at the proper line. Do that. There you go. So it's this one that is failing, but the string null was not recognized as get date time or null. No, like is db null. Well, I'm thinking I can't just say. I know I had a thing like to convert to a date. I can just maybe do something along the lines of read string get string 5 if it is null. Whoops. If it is null, then null. This might actually work just like this. Let's see. Hey, look at that. Awesome. So logged in as my email. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave this at this. I'm gonna go ahead and push log in, log out, static, well, server side rendering of HTML. Because all of these components are happening on the server. Oh, it got rejected. Oh, because I need to pull. It's a good thing that it got rejected because I didn't include any release tags on this. Let's go ahead and do another commit. Let's allow empty because there's nothing I'm changing. Feature, log in, log out, server side render. All right. So soon enough, we should be able to see. I closed. We should be able to see the changes reflect here on this website. I need to. Whoop, bad gateway, and any moment now. Oh, there it is. Sign in with Google. Let me see. Do we have any cookies here? It doesn't really matter. Sign in. Balloting. Nope, it's still broken here too, so we might have to do something similar where we get to another page and go back in. Okay, but at least it's working. We'll try to dig a bit into what is happening with that. I suppose I might have to do something with the redirect. I don't think it's caching, just the cookies are not being sent. And there's gotta be some sort of browser option that is being badly configured. Anyways, we'll fix that and then we'll finally get into Unity 3D and doing some 3D stuff, right? See you later.